A sad tale's best for winter. I have one, of sprites and goblins. That's a line from Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale, and the bard's not wrong. Although we collectively most associate ghost stories with Halloween these days, there is a long tradition of terrifying tales being told in the winter. The days are cold, the nights are long, and everyone's huddled together around a fire, the blaze keeping the spirits at bay. And for antiquity's sake, I have a tale for you about Sir Francis Bacon, a death most foul, and a ghost of a chicken that still haunts England to this day. Hi there, I'm Alec Belmore, and you're watching History and Intrigue. Let's get one thing straight from the jump. Sir Francis Bacon was no ham. He was a man of science. In fact, you've probably heard his name mentioned once or twice in high school, since he's largely considered to be the creator of the scientific method and the father of empiricism. In 1626, at the ripe age of 65, Bacon was still firing on all scientific cylinders, willing to go to whatever lengths necessary to test a hypothesis. So the story goes, Bacon was out traveling with the king's physician, Dr. Winterbourne, and the pair fell into an argument over Bacon's belief that freezing meat could help preserve it for an extended period of time. To settle the score, they asked the coachman to take them somewhere where they could get a chicken, killed it, then stuffed it with snow, put it in a bag, packed more snow around it, and then buried it to see how long it could keep fresh. Honestly, if it were this difficult to freeze food these days, I would not eat as many toaster strudels as I do. According to John Aubrey's Brief Lives, a collection of short biographies written in the late 17th century, following their experiment, Bacon caught a cold and was so ill he couldn't even make it back to his house, so he went to the Earl of Arundel's place, which I think is where Anna and Elsa live, and, quote, put him into a good bed warmed with a pan, but it was a damp bed that had not been laid in about a year before, which gave him such a cold that in 2 or 3 days, as I remember Mr. Hobbs told me, he died of suffocation. Although there are some discrepancies in timing for this account of Bacon's death, since there's no record of snow in England in April 1626 when his death occurred, and it does seem like there's a little too much, trying to make him feel like a felled hero of science in the story, there is undoubtedly some connective tissue between this chicken tale and Bacon's death, regardless of the immediacy between the events. Which leads us to the ghost. A place called Pond Square in Highgate, London is generally agreed upon to be the location of Bacon's chicken experiment. It also, for many years, but most prolifically during the World War II era, has been the location of numerous ghost chicken sightings. One notable account comes from 1943, when the city of London was pitched into darkness because of wartime regulations. According to a story published by the London Evening News, aircraftsman Terence Long was walking through Pond Square at night when he heard, quote, hoofbeats, the sudden pulling up of a carriage, and a frightened shriek, followed by a frightened, squawking fowl, dashing about in frenzied circles, half running, half flying, and shivering. He shut his eyes out of fear, and when he opened them, the ghost chicken was gone. There were a handful of other sightings of this squawking specter up until the 1970s, but since then, the trail has gone cold. Was this the spirit of Sir Francis Bacon's victim, returning once again from the great beyond when the clock clucked midnight? Or were these just the half-baked stories of people who had flown the coop? I don't really have much of an opinion on ghosts, but if the tradition of telling ghost stories is rooted in sharing time with those you care about, while the winter wind whips outside, you can count me in. Thanks for watching.